Okay, guys. Hi again. Welcome. Another edition of our Friday recorded Pilates class. The sun's a little bright, so I had to angle myself. So I hope there wasn't any gleam through this video. So fingers crossed. All right, we'll go ahead and begin our practice. Let's set ourselves up on our back, on our mat. I'm gonna scooch back here. And then beginning with our knees bent, feet grounded to the floor, lining up with your hip bones, narrow stance in the front body. Having the arms stretched down long beside, take them out about 45 degrees. Make sure the palms are facing up. Then lightly press the backs of your shoulders into the ground. Feel that broadening all the way across your chest space. Then the crown of the head is going to wiggle and stretch to the back of your mat, allowing the chin to land fist distance from chest, really elongating your cervical spine. The eyes will then close to bring the focus inward. And we'll start by connecting our mind and body through breath work. Begin by taking an inhale through the nose, deep and slow. And then a steady exhale through your mouth. Purse your lips, pressing out a slow, steady stream of air all the way out. Inhaling, pulling from the pit of belly, lifting into the ribs, coming all the way up into the top of the chest, filling up. When you exhale, emptying from the top of chest, down through your ribs, finally squeezing that breath out, right, to empty completely down to the bottom. Breathing in, you're also going to let those ribs expand outward as the lungs fill up. Purse your lips now, squeeze the breath out from start to finish. And really knit and draw your ribs back to their midline. So think of your midsection like an accordion. Breathing in, we expand. Force the breath out with power. Make it audible, make it strong. We contract. With the ease in your inhale, the belly will rise and the core muscles are disengaged. When you force that air out with power, those muscles begin to activate. So feel the contraction of your core and the firming up of the belly. Maybe even taking one hand to the stomach to really feel what's happening within. We're going to continue just to stay with this breath. And I want you to really start to build up the relationship between your breath and your core. Trying to pull your abs in even deeper each time you breathe out. Good. And when you bring all this mental focus to this connection of, you start to clear your mind of all the other things, allowing yourself then to be really present and focused and mindful, not only with the practice itself, but with your own body. And let's take 3 more cycles of breath here. Feeling that subtle movement, the sensations being created. And then after that 3rd round of breath, you'll go ahead and gently let your eyes open. Once your eyes have opened, I'd like you to interlace your fingers, take your hands behind your head, and just cup the base of your skull before your neck begins. So your thumbs kind of hook behind that bump at your skull. And then lifting your elbows to the sky so that arms closely frame the head. We're going to start by stretching the back of the neck and a bit of our upper back. Take an inhale. Keeping arms close, keeping head heavy. On your exhale, use your hands to lift the head off the ground as you press your chin to your chest. And then go ahead and release that down on an inhale. So trying to keep at least the points of your shoulder blades anchored to the ground throughout. Yeah. Inhale, preparing. Exhale, just lifting head off the ground, pressing the chin to the chest. Stretching from back of neck down through your shoulder blades, and then return to the ground again, breathing in. Let's do 2 more of these, yeah? Exhale, the arms stay close to support the head in the lift. Inhale, returning down. Once more, you're going to lift up your head, but this time you're going to keep the head lifted. You're going to turn it slightly to the right when you breathe in. And then you'll turn it slightly to the left as you breathe out.
Using more of the arms to guide than the head doing the work, yeah? Inhale, use your arms to turn the head over to the right. Exhale, swivel it over to the left. We'll do one more to each. Inhaling over to the right. Exhaling over to the left. Then bring your head back to the starting position and then gently let it come back down onto the ground to release. Once it has, go ahead and take the arms and lift them to the sky, stacked above the shoulders with the palms facing each other. When you inhale next, I'd like you to lift the shoulders off the ground and reach your fingertips closer to the sky. Shrugging up, and then exhale, anchoring in, plugging down. Take your time with these. Reach up as high as you can. Lift your shoulder blades off the ground and then press them back down in the floor as you breathe out. We'll do 2 more of these. When we shrug up, we want to remember to generally avoid this during class as it closes off our chest. Plugging in helps to activate the back body as well as broaden our chest some more. Let's do that once more to get that feel. Shrugging up, notice what your body is feeling like here. Right? Yanking up to the ears and then plugging in. Although it's active, it releases tension. Let's keep the arms plugged in as such. Let's now, on our inhale, lift the arms behind overhead. And as you do, seal the ribs in, zip your pubic bone towards your navel and imprint your spine. As you exhale, you're going to bend the elbows, start to pull the elbows down towards the hips as your hands come out a little bit wider. You're then going to arch your back, pop the ribs up. Then breathe in. I want you to seal the ribs back in, imprint the spine, and stretch the arms overhead again. And then exhale, elbows bend, hands open out a bit wider, ribs pop, back arches, and the elbows draw down towards your hips, but also into your side bodies. Seal the ribs in, imprint the spine, lengthen the arms, and reach them back again. Let's do 1 more of these. A little bit of a chest opener. Arching the back, elbows draw in and down, hands come out wider, and the back arches, so your middle back is completely off the floor. And then go ahead and seal the ribs down, imprint the spine, stretch the arms behind you. Inhale. On your exhale, circle the arms out and down. Now we're getting into a bit more shoulder mobility. Inhale, the arms reach up and overhead, belly firm still here. Exhale, widen out the arms and sweep them down beside you. Let's do a couple more. Breath in, reaching up and over. Exhale, opening out wide and sweeping back down. Stretch to your heels. Once more, inhale it up and over. Remember to activate your core. Then exhale, sweep out, sweep down. And then once the arms lower beside you, go ahead and just let them relax here. Take another breath in here. When you exhale, firm up that belly and lift your feet off the ground. Slowly begin to pull the knees to your chest so the legs don't have to do the job, the core does. Hands on your knees once you're there. Just gently rock side to side. Getting a general massage into the back. And just learning to really move with the tempo of breath. Sometimes we speed it up too much and then the quality of our inhales and exhales gets lost. From side to side, you'll now create a circular motion with your legs. Massaging out more into the lower back region, your SI joints, the backs of your hips. Good. Pause in reverse direction. Good. Then bring the legs back into still, nicely centered. On an inhale next, you're going to separate your legs and open them up as wide as you can. When you exhale, shallow circle around and back in together again. Inhale, legs separate and open. Exhale, shallow circle around and back in. Take 4 more of these. Make sure that your hands are always connected to your knees. If we let go, then the hip flexors take over, which we want to avoid as we really want to focus on instead massaging them out. Mobility of hips, range of motion is key. Let's do 1 more. Open up. Hold the legs open here actually for a moment. So sorry if you had started to circle around. I'd like you to keep the knees opened.
Take an inhale, still holding on to those knees. When you exhale, I'd like you to take your legs and try to hug them up and in closer towards your armpits. Release that hug when you breathe in. So you're gonna notice your pelvis moving here too. When you hug in, your pelvis tilts back and your tailbone lifts off the floor. Then when you release the hug, but still hold on to the knees, the pelvis is gonna kind of tip forward a bit. Let's do two more. Hug in, roll the pelvis back. Good, rock it forward as you release your hug. One last time, exhale, hugging the thighs in and up. Releasing the hug, letting the pelvis rock forward. And then let's draw the legs back in together. Again, beautiful. Keep the legs here, keep the knees closer to your chest. Take the arms out to T. Palms are still faced up. Really firmly anchor the backs of arms, shoulders, and shoulder blades to ground because we want our upper body to stay really stable here. Take an inhale. When you exhale, lower your legs to the right and look over your left shoulder. Stay here and breathe in again. Fill all the way up. Exhale to the other side. Use your core strength to help pull the legs up and to guide them over to the left while looking over your right shoulder. Then inhale for the twist. Exhale to the other side. Breathe in. Switch again. Let's do one more each. Inhale. Switch it out. Take your time with your breath and with your movement so that momentum doesn't take over and the core instead does. Hold here, legs to right, looking over left shoulder, inhaling. Once more. Breathe it in one more time to this twist. Then on your exhale, lifting legs and head just to center. And once you've centered, go ahead and return your feet back to the ground. Arms can then relax beside you once again. From here, the right ankle is going to cross over left knee. We're going to flex that foot. Hand to inner thigh, push the leg away. We're going to actually keep left foot grounded this time. So you can continue to keep your hand here to help keep the leg pushing out, or you can just use the energy of your leg to do that and let the arm release beside you. What I like us to work on is a little bit more range of motion with our weight shift, as much as we can find within our own body. Okay, so let's take an inhale. When you exhale, you're going to lean your weight to the left as far over as you can reach, perhaps even allowing your right foot to touch floor. And then lift the legs back up again to center on an inhale. Keep that right leg actively pushing out, yeah, to keep the hip space open. You're gonna lean again all the way over to the left, as far over as you can while maintaining control of your upper body. And then lift it up slow on an inhale. Let's do 3 more of these. Exhale, slow lean. You're gonna notice though what's happening to your right hip as you shift your weight to the left. Then return back in on an inhale. 2 more times. Exhale, slow pull over to the left side. Lifting up through center, breathing in. Once more, exhale, lean, take your time to the left. Come back through center. And then take your right foot down to the floor. Release. We'll do that on the other side. Left ankle crossed over, flexed foot. Hand to inner thigh, pushing the leg away. It just allows to really get as much openness as you can. And again, the hand can always just stay there, or the arm can come beside you. Now we move to our left hip. So take a moment before you begin the movement, because we're sometimes a lot on autopilot. I want you just to shift your mental attention, right? Your brain, your mind to your left hip. Take an inhale then, while noticing. And then take your time leaning, shifting your weight to the right as far over as you can go. Come back to center on an inhale. Moving slower then allows you to really notice the change in the left side. Let's do that again. Lean to the right. finding your range of motion and then lifting up on the inhale. And you may notice one side is different than the other, and that's kind of to be expected, right? 3 more times. We are imbalanced as humans, so one side can be tighter, less open, or more flexible and have more range of motion, yeah, depending upon. Let's do 2 more. Lean to your right. Ooh, lifting up on an inhale. So I'm noticing my left hip is a little bit tighter than my right, yeah. Last time, exhale. Take your time to lean over, right? Keep the upper body really anchored to the ground. And then lift back up when you breathe in. Return your left foot to the ground as you breathe out. Wonderful. Let's move on to the backs of the legs next. Lift your right leg up to the sky. Hold the back of the leg with both hands. Press your tailbone to the floor. I actually want us to do something first. So rather than the leg be fully extended up, let's go ahead and bend that right knee and draw that heel down towards the glute. Now, I want you to take the back of that right leg and push it as firmly as you can into the hands and keep it like that. Now take an inhale. On the exhale, begin to straighten the right leg out. And as you do, push out through the heel of your foot. The leg may not be able to straighten out completely. That's okay. Yeah. Rebend the knee, pull the heel down towards your glute. Again, make sure that back of leg is really pressing and pushing into the hands. Let's keep it like that throughout. Now let's straighten the right leg out again, breathing out. Maybe through time, it gets a little straighter. Rebend the knee on an inhale. Let's do a couple more of these, yeah? Exhale, press the back of the leg into your hands as you straighten the leg out and drive up through the heel. Rebend the knee on an inhale. I don't know about you, but I have tight hamstrings, so this is a bit of a stretch for me personally. All right, let's lengthen the leg up and let's hold that stretch now. Maybe the leg can draw in a bit closer to body, or maybe it can't, and again, that is okay. We do not want the leg to begin bending. We want to keep it as long as we can. With your foot flexed, go ahead now, point your toes. Feel that in the shin, the top of your foot. Flex the foot again, heel to sky. Good, and then point the toes. Let's do that again, heel to sky. Point your toes and then keep the toes pointed, but then begin to draw circles with your foot. So you will find at some point the toes are pointed and the other point the foot is flexed. And the stretch is kind of traveling in a 360 movement around the bottom half of the leg from the knee to the ankle. Just kind of feel that wrap around and then pause and reverse the direction. Getting a little bit of movement within the ankle as well. All right, then bring the foot back into still and then gently release the leg. Bend your knee and take your foot to the ground. Left leg, let's draw the knee towards body. Clasp behind the back of the leg with both hands. Interlaced if you can, that sometimes offers a stronger grip, but you can certainly have them separated as well. So start to feel the back of the leg press into the hands. So when the knee is in, the elbows will be bent. When you start to push the leg into the hands, the arms begin to straighten. Take an inhale. Start to straighten now the leg up towards sky. Exhaling. And again, it may not straighten out completely right away, or perhaps maybe ever. Again, that is all right. Rebend your knee. Breathing in, draw the heel towards your glute. Now as you straighten the leg, use the energy of your heel lifting up to the sky to help press forward with your leg. Rebend the knee, draw the heel down towards your glute. Let's do 2 more. Start to press the leg into the hands as the leg straightens upward. Rebend knee, breathe in. One last time. Straighten out and hold here now. Good. As the foot is flexed here, you're then going to point the toes. Feel that again at the shin and top of foot. Again, heel to sky. Point the toes. Let's do that one more time. Flex the foot. Point the toes, keep the toes pointed, then begin to draw circles with your ankle. This one I won't really do, guys, because of, still healing, but Try to find your fullest range of motion. We're not trying to do small and quick circles, big, slow, and full ones. And then again, feel that stretch sensation wrap around the leg. Pause, reverse direction. Good. All right, then bring that foot into still. Release the stretch, bend your knee, and take your foot down to the ground. Let's work now next to just start to warm up our powerhouse, our core, with some simple ab curls. Let's interlace fingers now, take them behind your head. This time though, the elbows are wide. Your knees and feet are hip width apart, and make sure that the arches of your feet are underneath your knees. Let's take an inhale. Peel up slowly, head, neck, and shoulders on the exhale. Eyes to your navel, but chin still fist distance from chest. Come back down to the floor again, breathing in. Exhale, belly strong, peel it up. Take it back down on an inhale. Let's do 2 more of these. Arms stay wide. Inhale, come back down. Once more. Good, return to the ground and pause there. Now take your legs to tabletop position. 90 degrees, tailbone still grounded, knees above your hips and ankles and knees on the same plane. It is helpful to squeeze the legs together to keep them stabilized and steady. Let's take an inhale here. Lift up head, neck, and shoulders on the exhale. Return down, breathe in. Again, lifting. Come back down on an inhale. Let's do 2 more here. Make sure that as you're lifting up head and shoulders, the knees don't start to pull in closer as they have a tendency to want to. Lower on an inhale. Let's take that once more. Exhale. Good, and then return the head and shoulders back down. Release your hands here and lift your arms to the sky, stacked above your shoulders. Now let's lift the legs to sky with pointed toes. Again, the legs love to pull in closer to the body. We want to do the opposite, pressing tailbone to ground. Take an inhale. Without your legs moving, lift up head, neck, and shoulders. Reach your fingertips closer up towards your feet. Come down on your inhale. Remember that exercise we did earlier with the shrugging and plugging. I want you to stay plugged. Take an inhale again. Exhale, lift with your core strength. Keep shoulders anchored into their sockets as you lift up higher to the toes with powerhouse strength. Come down on your breath in. 2 more of these. Reach, look up towards your feet. Come down, breathe it in. Once more. Good, and then take it down. Draw the knees in, hands to knees, rock gently, and recover. We're going to move into some leg extensions next. So we'll come back into still. We'll keep the knees drawn in. Some options here for the arms. They can be close down beside you, pressed into the floor. If you want more support, out to T. If you want less support, lift it above the arms like we just had done. Or head and shoulders lifted, hands behind head. So those are all the options. You can choose to always readjust your positioning through the exercise if you're finding you need more heat, or if you're finding that there's tension within your body, right? Releasing tension and bringing focus back to our strength. All right, let's go ahead and take an inhale in whichever chosen spot you're in. When you exhale, slowly extend both legs away from your body, pointing those toes and really lengthening out through them. Find some reach. Hip flexors are going to pull the knees back into the body again. Inhale. Exhale, lengthening your legs, reaching closer to skies, more modified, closer to the floor, more intensified. Knees drawn again on an inhale. Let's do 4 more. 4. And draw back in. 3 more. Make sure your spine is imprinted to the ground so that you're not sliding around on the mat when the legs move in and out. Yeah? 2 more times. Exhaling. Inhale, pull back in. With this last one, extend the legs out
Take the arms to a hovered position at your sides, keeping your head grounded or lifted, your choice. Hundreds. Let's pump the arms and breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5, then exhale. Good. Here's 20. Good. Exhale. So arms are vigorous. 30, and everything else is steady. Good. 40, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale. Good. 50, reach through those toes, exhale. Good. 60, keep that belly strong, exhale. Good. 70, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale. Good. 80. 2 more sets. Last 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 100, release, recover. Take a deep inhale and a long exhale. Beautiful. Okay. So we just kind of got our heart pumping, right? The blood moving, maybe a little bit of heat into the body. That's like considered one of the few quote unquote cardio exercises for Pilates. Very low impact practice, but it can get some calories burned. All right, we are going to move next into single leg circles. So although we'll be moving our one leg, it's not a leg exercise, it's a core one. We're actually going to be using our abdominal muscles to stabilize our hips. So we're going to go ahead and extend the left leg all the way to the floor with a flexed foot to anchor that leg down. We're going to lift our right leg to the sky. Bring the knee above your hip, not the foot. Okay, the foot will always be slightly more in front of you. Now my knee is slightly bent because having my leg straight puts a lot of pressure on my hip flexor. So if you're noticing that also within yourself, you can bend your knee here as well. If you're choosing to bend your knee, I don't want that circle stemming from the bottom half of your leg, right? The entire leg from your hip joint is where the movement begins, okay? Pointed toes, slightly externally rotated leg, and arms can be close in or out to T for support. Now, the backs of your hips should not seesaw or wobble through this exercise. So we start small, we start very slow, and we may have to maintain that, or we can certainly increase range of motion as long as we maintain that stability. All right, enough talking, let's do the work. Right leg on an inhale. It's going to cross slightly over the body when you breathe in. Very small, slow circle. Down, opening the leg slightly out to the side, and then restacking leg above hip. I'm going to take a little turn here so you can see it a little bit better in the movement within my body. So I'm crossing the leg over slightly on an inhale, circling down, slightly out, and then always pausing at the top. Make a very definitive beginning and ending point, okay? We're going to do 2 more in this direction. Cross on an inhale, belly strong. Keep your core nice and tight. Remember to keep your hips from moving. Once more, cross over, breathe in. Sweep down, out and up, exhaling. Stop here. Now we're going to reverse the direction, and it's slightly more challenging to start with the leg opening. So just be mindful of your hips again. Inhale, the opening now begins. Exhale, sweep down, slightly across, and restack. Pause. Good. Again, open, breathe in. And then this is again where you can start to increase the size, but remember, control is number 1. So if you start losing it, keep a smaller circle. Let's do 2 more. Opening. Slower circle also means you can stabilize and control this better. Isolation, right? Once more, open, inhale. Sweep it around, stack it up. Then draw that knee to your chest, place your right hand on that knee, and just draw circles with the leg, which will help to massage out that hip flexor. Good. All right, so we are now going to do our left leg, and I'm just going to take another turn so I have a little bit more room for movement. All right, the right leg then will stretch down, long flexed foot. You're going to feel that stretch stem from hip here as well, and then out through your heel. Left leg lifted, toes pointed, remember, for strength and length. But again, you can have a bend in your knee. The knee is above the hip. The foot will always be slightly forward, even if your leg is nice and straight, yeah? And then you're going to use that power of your leg right now to externally rotate the thigh. Here we go. Cross over on an inhale.
Circle slowly around exhale. Nothing else within the body is moving, just that leg alone. Inhale for the cross. Exhale for following through. Let's do 2 more. Inhale. One last time. Crossover, breathing in. Circling around slowly on the exhale. Stop at the top. Then take it out to the side, then to begin inhaling. Sweep down across. Find your lift. Exhale. Pause. Open. Also using that right leg to help balance you out. Let's do 2 more. One last time. Open, breathing in. Sweeping around, stacking up. Draw the knee to your chest, hand on the knee. Draw circles with the leg. Massage out your hip flexor. Wonderful. I honestly find that to be one of the best core exercises you can do. Although it's challenging, it's very tricky. You really have to be focused and concentrated on what should be working. If you start to wander off in thought, the core is going to instantly give away. And that's a lot of the reason why we bring a lot of tension within the hip flexors, because then they have to take over. So really great to focus on or to practice your mental capacity for staying in the present moment, right, with that exercise, but also a really great way to strengthen the entire core. Okay, let's move on to double leg circles. So similar movement of legs, but both will be moving at the same time. I am going to take another quarter turn again, just so you can see a bit better the movement within the body. So lying still down on your back, you're going to lift both legs to sky. Toes once again are pointed, and you're going to externally rotate so the heels angle in and the toes start to splay outward. Again, you can have a little bend in the knees, but try not to go too deeply as we are kind of getting into this kind of opening and sweeping around, okay? So on an inhale, I'd like you to open your legs up as wide as you can. This will also work on the mobility of your hips. Then as you exhale, sweep the legs downward, bring them together, then lift them up. So the lower down you sweep to the floor, of course, the more work it will be for your core. So the more shallow you make that sweep down, the more modified it will be for you. Okay, here we go again. Open both legs out on an inhale as wide as you can. Sweep down, squeeze the inner thighs together, lift the legs back up. Let's do 4 more. 4. Good, 3 more. 2 more, open out. Last time, breathe it in. Sweep it down, together, lift, and then recover, knees in. Any movement if you like, or stillness if you prefer. All right, I think it's time that we get into some back body stretching. So as I shift back to normal, we're gonna go into roll ups next. So legs, both of them extended all the way down onto the ground. Flexed feet, pushing through the heels. Make sure the inner edges of your feet are parallel, that they're not rolled open, right? We want our inner thighs to roll and hug into our midline. The arms reach behind overhead. As you reach the arms overhead, remember, seal the ribs down and zip your pubic bone towards your navel. Imprint the spine and activate the core. Inhaling now, you'll begin to peel your arms, head and shoulders off the floor. Exhale, use your core strength and your breath power to pull your body upright to seated. Good posture first, then a hinge and fold and stretch over the legs. This is a very juicy stretch, so we don't want to lose the flex of our feet. Let your body ease into it. Let the head be heavy through your arms. Stacking tall when you breathe in. As you exhale, tuck your tailbone, scoop out your belly, push out through the heels, round your spine, and roll to the floor nice and slowly. Arms overhead again. Don't let your legs relax. We begin again. Start your lift on an inhale.
Slower than you'd like to. Pull up with your heart to the sky. Posture is key here for your stretch. Then slowly hinge, hinge, hinge. Take your time. Right? Especially if you have a really tight back body, this is a nice thing to do. Right? But take your time. Inhale, stack tall, fingertips to the sky. Make sure that you look always straight ahead while you're coming down so the chin stays neutral. Make our way all the way to the ground. Let's do 2 more of these. Breath in, the movement starts. Feel the legs anchoring to the floor. Even if they start to float off a bit, the energy of the anchor will help you to lift your body. Stretch. Stacking tall, breathing in. The arms slightly behind your ears coming down. Last time, if you want, hands can stack on the forehead, elbows wide, keep the hands glued. Inhale, the lift starts. Come up, sit tall, fold. Stack upright on the inhale. We're staying seated this time. We're just going to exhale at the arms lower down beside us. Wonderful. I'm going to take another quarter turn to face the camera. You can stay as you are. We'll be working with our torso. We'll be working with our upper body, shoulders, traps, rhomboids between shoulder blades, and lats, which kind of run along the side here. So we're going to be in this tall seated position for a few different exercises. So if you're finding that having your legs fully extended does not work for you, you can always bend your knees a little bit, yeah? But either way, your feet are still flexed, your legs are still squeezed together tightly. Our legs are anchors, so they provide that stability we're needing to make sure other parts don't move. We're going to be starting with a 90-degree lateral arm lift. So you are going to create 90 degrees with both arms. See me from the side here. So my elbow is directly underneath my shoulder at my side. And then my wrist is directly in line with my wrist, right, on the same plane. So the shape of your arms will never change. You'll never lead with your elbows. You're never going to lead with your hands. You're leading with your shoulder joint. So this is the originator. So the whole arm pulls up as one piece, and the whole arm is going to come down as one piece, and 90 degrees remains. This is a shoulder exercise and the upper back muscles as well. So sit up tall, belly in, chest up, shoulders back, 90 degrees with your arms. You can create fists with your hands, something that keeps the arms strong and locked in. On your exhale, you're going to lift with your shoulders, arms out to their sides, a lateral movement. And then squeeze it back in. But again, opening out, everything moves as one piece. Nothing leads before the other. Good. Good. Exhale for the lift. Feel the shoulder blades pull down your backside here, and then hug everything in. Inhaling. 2 more. Good. Hug it in. 1 more time. Exhale, lifting. Elbows are almost coming up to shoulder level, then keep the elbows there. Release your fists, spread your fingers wide, and then just start to lift the wrists right above your elbows. So if you're still in 90, you're going to come right into a cactus arm position, perfect for our spine twists. Let's take an inhale, get taller in the chest, but pulling down in the shoulder blades. Exhale, twist to your right. Use your core strength, not your arms. The arms stay exactly as they once were. Center on the inhale. Exhale, take it to your left, squeeze lightly between your shoulder blades and feel that right arm resist you just a bit. Come back in, inhaling. Over to the right, getting taller as you rotate. Center on an inhale. Don't let those elbows sink, right? Keep them up. Twist over to your left. Waistline strengthener. Come back through center. I'm going to do 1 more to each. Right, so just to hold the arms up in this space does require lots of muscles to be active. 1 more time, over to your left. Come back through center. Let's stay centered. Now keep the elbows right where they are, in line with the shoulders. Imagine you have suspenders on and hook your thumbs behind your imaginary suspenders. Draw circles with your elbows. Although we're drawing with our elbows, we're working with our shoulders and upper back, yeah? So breathe into those spaces. 3, keep your posture. 2, 1, pause, reverse direction. Inhale, exhale. 5, 4, 3, good. 2, control. 1, good. And then very gently let the arms come down. Let your feet relax. Start to melt slowly over your legs. Let your arms relax down in front of you, and then let the head gently relax down as well. Breathe into your back body. Deep inhale. Long exhale. Good. Roll gently back up to seated. Once you've rolled up, I'd like you to bend your knees, ground your feet, and walk your feet in as closely as you can. You're going to wrap your arms as tightly as you can behind your legs, and then grip your arms with your hands as firmly as you can. All these tight grips, excuse me, is really going to help in our next stretch. We're going to be stretching our upper back right between those shoulder blades, which we just worked out. So I'd like you to bring your chin down to your chest. Keep the chin pressed down. I'd like you then to start to scoop out your front body, round your back body, and try to really actively pull yourself away from your legs. But your legs are pressing into the arms at the same time, so it's creating that push-pull energy, which helps with the stretch itself. Breathe between the shoulder blades. Inhale. Send it to the back body. Exhale it out. We'll do that again. Breath in. Once more. Inhale. As you exhale, pull your belly into your thighs. Stack tall, release the arms, and then take them down beside you. Just want to check the time. I know we've got plenty left, but I just want to see where we are at. Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead and come to a kneeling position next. I want us to get a little stretch into the psoas and the quads, the fronts of the legs. So come to tall kneeling at the back of your workspace. And then I'd like you just to take a step forward with your right foot. And I want you to first make sure that you do not step into center. We tend to do that, and then that's going to be really challenging to keep us balanced and secure. So your left knee and your right foot should be in 2 separate train track lanes. I also want your left knee, your hips, and your shoulders to be stacked up nice and vertical. We are not lunging into the right leg. Both legs should be at 90 degrees. This is going to be important for the psoas stretch on your left side. I'm going to turn this way so you can see it a little bit better. So 90 degrees, right leg, left leg. This is what we're going to be stretching right here. So you're going to just place your hands lightly onto that right leg. So when we get in this position, sometimes, I hope you can see it, I'll just pull my sweatshirt up a bit so it's not in the way. We tend to hyperextend. We tend to like pop our booty back, the pelvis tips forward, and we start to compress the lower back. And also then this whole thing just gets loose and gives way. So to really get a nice psoas stretch, you don't really have to position your body any differently. What I want you to do is take your pubic bone, zip it up to your navel, pubic bone to navel, and ribs seal down towards navel. You're already going to automatically feel a pull right here. What it also does is it secures your pelvis into place, and it helps to really protect your lower back, and it keeps the lower, right, that lumbar spine really long, right, rather than crunching in. So holding the pubic bone in place, ribs in place, pelvis secured, hands lightly on that right leg. All we're going to do here, I mean, I can feel it from my hip all the way down, almost to my knee. I feel this. I'm going to just very slightly lean in a little bit into that right leg, just a tad, but keep the activity here. Yeah. And then pull it back up. So you're back at your starting point, barely moving. Yes. Lean a bit into the right leg, but don't let your booty pop back, right? Remember, pubic bone always zipping to your navel. Come back. We're going to do a couple more here. Chest up, shoulders back, lean in a bit to it. Good, pull it back.
One more time, just a little bit of a lean in. Good. And then start to push off that leg and lift your chest up. Gaze up slightly. Good. Keep pressing the hips forward and the pubic bone up. And then go ahead and slowly start to pull back on your weight. Let your arms release. Step your right foot back, and then the knee can come down, so you're back to kneeling. And now we do the other side. Left foot's gonna step up. Remember, don't step to center, and if you had, just readjust 2 separate lanes. Hands lightly to the leg, 90 degrees with both legs. And now, again, adjusting your pubic bone and your ribs. They're both trying to draw towards the belly button. When you get that kind of sealing in factor, everything now is supported and protected. And then again, you're gonna feel that pull already start to form on your right front of the leg. So with hands lightly on the thigh, I want you to just lean in a bit to that left leg. And then pull your weight back. Again, a little lean into the left leg. And then come back. Twice more, lean, but don't let your body lean forward, right? We're staying vertical in our torso, right? Nice and upright here. One more time, just a shift of weight forward a bit. Good, bring it back. Wonderful, then you're gonna release the hands, arms beside you, step that left foot back so you're on both knees, kneeling. And then from kneeling, let's go ahead and go into tabletop next. Coming on to hands and knees. I'm gonna come do it this way because we're going to be adding in some kind of side extension movements. So, fingers spread wide, knees hip width apart. Push away from the floor so you can lift out of your arms so that you're not collapsing into them. You're puffing up between your shoulder blades. You're sending your heart forward and you're looking slightly past your workspace. Belly in and up here as well. Take an inhale. I'm going to start here. Sorry, guys. On your exhale, extend right leg back and left arm forward. Then inhale, return back to tabletop. So we're going to do one breath, one movement with these. We don't normally do that. What I want you to focus on is maintaining centered weight so that when you come back to tabletop each and every time, your weight doesn't shift around. So let's start over again. Right leg, left arm on the exhale, extends away. Send your weight forward with the hand. Inhale, come back to tabletop. Then exhale, right arm, left leg, reach it out. Bring weight in that left arm and push out through your left heel. Return to tabletop, breathing in. Again, other side, left arm, right leg. Bring it back down. Inhale. Other side. Looking forward, not down at the ground. Come back to tabletop. One more to each. Right, control, remember, is very key. All your body is working here, the entire thing. Exhale, arms, chest, core, glutes, legs. Return to center, and then just gently sit back to your heels. All right, so we have to be aware of our entire body, right? How can we isolate? How can we control? When you're moving your extremities, right, your arms or legs, pretty much, I would say for every single exercise that those extremities move with, the movement, feel it energetically rooting into and reaching out of the joints of the shoulders and the hips. Just a little, something that helps me at least to kind of really control everything. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to offer side extensions of both the arm and the leg. So this is where I take that quarter turn. So remember, the leg, I'm just going to briefly kind of demonstrate. So the leg won't necessarily get all the way out without us leaning to the opposite side. So our body weight has to stay centered. It's really hard. Our legs are heavy, right? And to move them laterally out to the side just is challenging. So don't feel like the leg has to get all the way out there. With that being said, though, the arm, much easier to move, right? We have great range of motion here. However, if we pull too far out, Notice how my chest began to follow. So my chest has to stay square. So the far out you'd go is 90. Directly out to its side is the furthest you're going to go with your arms. Okay. So let's come back to tabletop. And we're going to begin with the right arm and the left leg. On an inhale, the arm stretches forward, the leg reaches back. On your exhale, here comes that side extension. Good, come back through center. So notice my body isn't leaning or shifting to a different side. I stay right in the middle with my torso, my chest. Yeah, come back through center. We're gonna do 2 more of these. Lift out of that right arm, or left arm rather, sorry. Exhale, right arm and left leg are moving. Center, breathing in. This is activating more of the obliques right in your core. Come back through center. And then tabletop, and then push back to child's pose for a moment to rest. You can lift your hands up and kind of shake them out a little bit, right? Roll out the wrists. And we'll do our other side. Okay, let's go ahead, come back to table. Now we're gonna do left arm, right leg. So on an inhale, arm forward, leg back. Take your time, never, never rush these. And then open slow, exhale. Feel that grounded arm and leg really firmed in. Center on an inhale. Again. Pull it back, breathe in. Let's do 2 more. One more time. Good, come back through on an inhale. Return down to tabletop and then sit back to child's pose. Take some deep breaths in, some long breaths out. Good, one more inhale here. Rolling up to seated as you breathe out. Just want to check the time again because I want us to do, perfect. Okay. We're gonna get into some side leg work. I haven't done this in quite a while, I don't think, but kneeling side leg work. So definitely more intense on the hip. So we won't do as many of the exercises that we normally would because of that. And I'll give us like little breaks in between each one. So we're gonna come up to tall kneeling. Tall kneeling. And then you're going to go ahead and extend your left arm out to its side. Then you're going to step your left leg out to its side with the foot grounded down. Then you're just going to kind of shift a bit to your left with your upper body so that you can hinge down. And then either tented fingers or a fist to the ground. Sometimes a flat palm collapses us. So a fist can help push you away, so can tented fingers. I personally like tented fingers. Also make sure that hand is not in front of the leg nor behind the leg. I'm over exaggerating, but even the slightest, right? Directly at its side, everything is lined up nice. If we start doing one of these or one of those, our spine is thrown off, right? We want long length, not twists or compressions, yeah? So anyway, pushing away from the floor, other hand on your hip. Flex your right foot, hover the leg, and then roll the leg in so that we can focus on strengthening the hip. From here on your exhale, you're gonna lift that right leg up a bit higher. And then take the foot to hover. Isolate, isolate, isolate. Remember, the movement stems from hip joint, outer hip muscle though. Lifting leg, firm up that belly. Tight, tight, tight. Hover the foot when you breathe in. Let's do 4 more here. 4. Good, keep the chest up. Keep that elbow pointing to sky. 3 more. Good, 2 more times. One last, let's lift it. And then very gently and very lightly touch to the floor just for a moment of rest. So the second one, we're gonna work on circles, super small. Make sure you reach out through the toes as much as you can.
We're gonna lift that leg up, trying to get it as parallel to the ground as you can. Toes are pointed, you're reaching through. The leg is now locked and stiff and strong. Circles here. Breathe through them steadily and do not lose anything else within the body, right? No collapsing. Breathe. 3, 2, 1. Pause. Reverse. Inhale, exhale. 5, 4. Good. 3, 2, 1. Good. Gently let the leg come down. Yeah. So it starts to not only get into the outer hip, but it starts traveling into the QL, which is kind of like waistline, but kind of wraps around the lower back region, and obliques. Got one more left to go. We're not going to do many of these, okay? We're going to lift the leg back up. This time you're going to flex the foot. Inhale, bend the knee, pull it towards the body, and then push it away. Again, in, press. 2 more. In, drive out. Once more, in, push it out, hold it here. The foot is flexed. Inhale, pull the leg slightly out in front. Point the toes and sweep slightly back. Just the leg. Try to keep your upper body steady. Flex the foot, draw it forward. Point toes, sweep back. Just 2 more of these. Flex foot, inhale. Exhale. Last one, flex foot, inhale, pull out in front. Point toes, sweep back. Bring leg in line with body. Gently take the foot down. Bring the knee down to meet your other, both hands in front. Let's tuck our toes under. Not quite a child's pose. I just want you to push your hips straight back and then stretch your heart forward. That energy of push back and sending forward is going to stretch a bit more into the outer hips. Oof. Those are intense. I kind of lied. We did about the same amount, but I did give us rest in between. So I'll meet you halfway. All right, guys, let's go ahead and come out of that little quasi child's pose and come back up to kneeling. So we'll do all that lovely stuff on the other side. Now, just as a note, right, that left leg was grounded. It was working. So you may notice that doing this leg now, you're like, why does it burn so quickly? Not like the other leg. It's because it's already been doing some stuff. Yeah. So right arm extends out to its side, left foot steps off to its side, line up. Shift your body, upper body, a little bit more to the right so that you can hinge down and take the hand to the floor again, tented or fisted, and line that hand up. Other hand to hip, elbow pointing it to sky. If it starts moving, that elbow, that's an indicator then the shoulder has, which is then an indication that we've lost our alignment. So flex your foot, hover the leg, internal rotation of. Press the hips forward. So we also never want our booty pushing back. When you breathe out, that leg lifts up and then take it to hover. I forgot that my camera's at an angle. I'm like, why do I look all distorted? All right, lifting leg. And then hover, push to that heel, spread out your toes. Let's do 4 more. 4. Good, make sure that you're not falling into that right arm. 3 more. Good, 2 more times, lift. 1 last time, lifting leg. And then gently taking it to hover, or to release, sorry. So just giving yourself a moment to rest it out because we're gonna go right into our circles next. So remember, we're pointing toes to lock up the leg and we're moving from the hip joint. So let's go ahead and lift that leg, perhaps to parallel if you can, toes pointed, circles here. Steady breath, keep the chest lifting up towards the sky. 3, elbow adjustment, yeah. 2, I noticed mine. 1, pause. Reverse direction, inhale, exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, gently take it to rest. Wowza, yeah, so I can definitely tell this hip is firing up way more because it was already working. All right, bends and extends and forward back sweeps are next. Lifting leg up, flexed foot, inward rotation. Bend the knee, draw it in.
Slowly push it all the way back out. Draw the knee in. And then drive it out. Check the rest of your body. Yeah, 2 more. In. Push it out. Once more. In. Fire that breath up. Stay here. Foot is still flexed. Inhale, pull the leg out in front. Point toes and reach back. This is a small movement, nothing that big. Flex foot, pull the leg slightly in front of you. And then point the toes, reach back. We're doing 2 more. Flex, pull forward. Once more, inhale. Exhale. Leg back in line with body. Gently take the foot to the ground, then the knee to the floor as hands walk forward in front of you. Ooh, toes tuck under. Remember, hips push back, but heart stretches forward. Good. Pull out of your child's pose. Let's actually come into, let's pull the right leg up in front of us and the left leg behind us. 90 degrees for both. Flex your feet. Square up to the right inner thigh. Fingers are tented. You're gonna walk the hands out. You're gonna lean into that right leg. So imagine your belly button, we're trying to reach beyond the knee. It's not actually physically going to, but if you can imagine it, you can create so much more length, particularly in the lumbar spine, the lower back. I usually cue to the heart, and that's great, but sometimes though the lower back gets rounded, so everything now is long. Breathe into that right hip. One more breath in. When you exhale, let's walk the hands back in and bring the shoulders back above the hips. Let's take that left leg, pull it around to the front at 90, right leg at 90, behind you. Flexed feet for both. Squaring up to that left inner thigh, tented fingers, hands beside the leg. We're gonna walk the hands out. So even though the hands are first, now it's your navel. Think of your navel. We're going beyond the heart. We're going to our belly button. Belly button, trying to stretch past that left kneecap there. Breathe into that left hip. Good, one more breath in here. And then walking in on the exhale. Good. Let's go ahead and pull that right leg around to the front. And we have just enough time to finish with some plank work. So 2 minutes of plank. First 30 seconds of your plank, you're going to be in a center plank. Second 30, you'll be at a side. Third 30, you come back to center. For the fourth set of 30 seconds, your other side plank. I just want you to scan your body the entire time to make sure everything is doing its job. So start to slowly get yourself set up for a center plank while I get our timer going. Stopwatch. We'll begin this in 3, 2, 1. 30 seconds of a center plank. So fingers are spread. Heels over the balls of the feet. The legs are hugged tight. The glutes are squeezed. The hips and thighs pull away from the ground. Puff up between shoulder blades and send the heart forward. Soften the elbows if the arms are locked and look beyond the hands. Strong, steady. We've got 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. We open into a side plank of choosing. You can come down to bottom leg, right the knee for support. Make sure that bottom hip though is pulled far away from the ground. That lifted arm's hand is reaching high to the sky. You're not collapsing into your grounded arm, you're lifting out of that as well. And your legs are squeezed together tight if they are stacked. 10 more seconds here, guys. I'm really close to the camera, sorry for this. Almost there, we got 3, 2, 1. Gently back into center plank for another set of 30. So again, heels, legs, glutes, core, chest, and arms.
Strong, fiery breath. Keep that belly pulled in tight. Almost there, guys. 5 more seconds. 3, 2. Now we open into our last side. Last set of 30. If you want more of a challenge, you can start to reach that lifted arm slightly back, rolling your chest to sky and looking to sky. It will throw your balance off. So that could be an option for you, but not a requirement. Good, good, good. Breathe, breathe, breathe. We got 10 more here. Probably shouldn't have done an upper body warm-up or exercise before this. Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Gently to center. Gently to knees. Gently to child's pose. Take the arms and reach them behind you. Let the shoulders fall towards the ground. Breathe deeply into your body. Stretch the arms out in front of you for a moment. We're still in child's pose. Sorry, I'm just shifting so you can see me a little bit better. In child's pose, take the right arm, thread it underneath the left arm and look to your left, stretching the back of shoulder and upper back. Got me working and sweating today. Good. Go ahead and let that unwind, and we'll switch to the other side. Left arm threading under right, looking to right, stretching out. Good. Then slowly unwinding, coming to center. From center, walking the hands to knees. You can roll up to seated. And then from here, coming to a cross-legged position, right at the center of your workspace. Sits bones grounded, heart lifted. Arms down at your sides, palms facing the sky. Take an inhale, reach the arms out and then up. Touch your hands above the head and then pull your hands down to heart center. Connection. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, sweep down, reach out and lift up. Exhale, connect and bring within. Once more, gather up all that energy right in between your arms. Hold it there right above you. And then feel it as it gets pulled within yourself. Hands to your heart and chin to your chest. Close your eyes, bow in. Always this time to thank yourself, right? That you showed up, you did the work, you're dedicated to, you're motivated. Your body has gotten an opportunity for movement, breath, connection, and be very proud that you keep your body moving forever and always. So thank you guys very much for another wonderful Pilates practice. Enjoy this one. Stay tuned for more, and I will see you guys as live as we can next week. Enjoy.